Got that Tank Beats. Shout out to
We are
XC.
recording.
Shout out to my boy T-Nap. Yo, it's going down. Here we go.
That's me.
Me and did it to the
Did
streets,
it
to
to
the
the
game,
streets.
and it's all for the fame. Freestyling off the top of the dome, that's my name. All day I go, I rap the beat on, man. You know I go down, and you know I
Hello.
hit that bone.
Welcome to an episode of the Ballsy Football Podcast.
AFC South champs, Brian. AFC South champs.
My name's Dame. You can call me Beans. And I have Troy, also known as Nappy Nap.
What's good? Yay. That was a callback to Bill O'Brien right there, man. I don't know if you remember.
Oh yeah, I
He used
wonder
to
if
be proud of hanging them banners, man. I'm telling you, the problem was back then you're shooting for that when you know the team could be more. Shit, if we won the AFC South right now, Texans, shit, I'll be at Academy 5 a.m. for them t-shirts, man. So I'm proud of them, man.
Do you think Bill O'Brien will last beyond this season in New England?
I think another segue to the Houston talk, but no, because of him and I think because of this certain offensive coordinator, people like Bill O'Brien or as we'll talk about later, the Bills OC yesterday, or Josh McDaniels out of the Vegas Raiders. These people won't, they don't have jobs no longer because of an OC we'll talk about later. And anyways, I'll leave it at that, man. What's up? Week 11. How you looking?
Let's bring him in. Week 11 of the NFL and your fantasy football team. Teams are starting to separate or get into the playoffs, or
Yeah.
you're not technically all the way out. You're very unlikely, maybe, but you're not that far. There's a few teams.
Yeah, if everyone else.
Bottom.
Yeah, for sure. And we got 12 people, 7 spots this year instead of 8, right? But again, yeah, we'll get into it later though. But mathematically, at 3 and what am I? 3 and 7? Yeah, we still in it, baby. Some of these boys that ain't gonna make it this week, I'll tell you. Derek Carr, concussion. Usually we see these players, concussion protocol. Dave Beans, they out longer than a week. They're almost automatically out the next week. Just with how they treating this thing. DW4, he got the ankle. I had a little video of it. It looked like a little Texans on Texans crime there, but he ended up in a walking boot at the end of the game, right? And then Baker Mayfield with a thumb, might not be serious, didn't miss any snaps, but those are your quarterbacks that are out. And then you got Heineke who started when they Falcons decided to bench Desmond Ritter. Heineke got the hamstring, so Ritter might be getting a second chance already in his sophomore season. Yeah. Quarterback wise, what's up? What you thinking? DW4 actually showed a great second half for the Browns. So I don't know, man. It looks like the Browns might be turning that corner.
Who had DW4 in our league?
I want to say it was Will, I thought. But whether or not he played him, I don't know if he had the trust factor there with him. But as we've been talking about the Achilles taking people, the concussion is really going taking players down weekly almost. And I guess that's more the stringent, things when people, the eyes in the sky see a player getting wobbly, they automatically, make the call downstairs, and then on the field level, they grab that play out. But yeah, who we got? All right, so DW4, was I right or wrong? I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is the Deshaun Watson. I was just curious to see how he's been doing this season because it's not
Yeah, he ain't been doing well. Ain't been doing well, but I believe injuries do play a factor with that. As far as the running back position, so he's not getting much help there. Amari Cooper's doing well. Elijah Moore's still trying to fit in, I think. But hey, I know he was 14 for 14 in the second half of last week, so. That's a hell of a stat line to finish the game. So, while he did some wacky shit throughout the season, you know what I mean? What was it, pulling people's face masks or just, letting better emotion get to him, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he might be turning the corner there. Our Instagram star there.
Yeah, none of those injuries jump out at me. It being too crazy to mess up a roster.
No. I'll tell you, the only other one would be running back, probably, bro. Madison, right, over for the Vikings. I think Ty Chandler is the pickup of the week, per Fantasy Pros and all these other places. Chandler being the backup there. Although you'll see later, we're gonna spill something to these folks that I don't know that's a false meal we chasing right there. That's what, counting the chickens before they hatch right there. Thinking Chandler's just automatic plug and play for a Vikings team that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, still one of the highest in passing percentage plays. That's with Dobbs, the Pastronaut at QB, right? So,
but
yeah, that's about it. Close it out with receivers, bro. The guy that we started our show how long we been doing this, being so 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, Don't remind me. We should be further along, but yeah, we did.
Hey, that's all right, man.
Michael Thomas.
Hey, Michael Thomas. I think that was one of the first players we said on this show.
I'll try to dig that audio up and clip it in real
Oh
quick.
man, yeah, but Michael Thomas. I have a note here. What's new, right? Here he goes, injured again.
What's a hamstring? What is it?
It didn't even bother, man. Now you put me on the spot like that, but goddamn.
Okay, man,
I'll tell you one last thing, and this was good news for you. Go ahead.
Where's our producer? Where's our producer? It's not here.
Yeah, man. We'll get him back soon. Oh, by the way, Matt want to call in. He said we got to do it on a Monday or Thursday. That's when he's off. But yeah,
we could always do the call on a Monday or Thursday, and then I can always pipe it in.
Yeah. All right.
If we don't do this
Well, hey,
show.
I close it with this for you as far as injuries. This isn't an injury, more of a comeback, right? Those ALC alternative learning T-shirts, minor setback for a major comeback. Achan. There we go. Achan probably be coming back soon. That window opened up, back from IR, 21-day window. Might be going down. I don't know if you're ready, you excited, but I can see that's why Jeff Wilson's back on the waivers. I can see that's why Raheem Mostert. We've been telling you to sell him last couple weeks. I mean, this is why. Achan. He. I won't say anymore.
I
man.
feel like
you already know.
Is it Mostert one of the leading rushers right now in the NFL?
Yeah, super explosive, and he's got it down. Like I said, it's already week 11, and he's still running healthy. So, while he's still a little bit to go, he is breaking that assumption that he's injury prone. So
yeah, so I think he'll probably until they give him reason not to play him more. I'd personally keep him if I had him and he was playing well. Then I think Michael Thomas has a knee injury. I don't know how significant it is. I'm not going to sit here and pour over the info, but
yeah. Fuck it, he'll be all right. Anyways,
doesn't matter.
He was bound to miss some games anyway. You want to start the clock, man? We can keep going unless he had anything else to touch on the NFL at the end, getting some fantasies.
No, we can either go in it and save the clips for last, or we can jump into a few clips now. What did you want to do?
Yeah. I wanted to jump between. Can we sprinkle them? Is that
you
good,
or is it easier for you
to
sprinkle?
Man, let's hit that former Texan on Texan crime, man.
That's the
DW4 and Clowney right there.
There we go.
And I think on this is crazy to
all
think
the way
like,
down to first and goal.
Just 4 years ago, like to set the narrative here. I mean, this is two of our former first-round picks, the Houston Texans, that is. You know what I mean? You got Clowney in there, both in the Bill O'Brien area, and then you got DW4 here. I'll tell you, it's wild seeing Clowney. It's kind of idiotic seeing him in a number 24, a pass rusher, but I guess that's the new number rules now. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll tell you, this is why you sign Clowney. If he's healthy all season, they definitely got him for a bargain there. I'm sure 7-8 mil. But that's just all tape right there. That's Clowney following the read, not falling for the, You'll see there, though, he does wrap him up and get on his ankle. Deshaun does get up a little gingerly here, but look at that. Just cuts back. That length, that fucking wingspan. He misses him, stabs his foot in the ground, and is still able to reach back and get him because of that. Yeah. And, if it's easy to pull up the other one, Beans, and then we can move on, man.
Which one?
You will see him. Actually, no, this one's good. Actually, I just wanted to mention he does get hurt the following play. Clowney does. Here we go, right there. He showed some good sportsmanship, man. Trying to help out our boy after landing on Deshaun, checking on him and whatnot. Yeah, this is how you'll see here. Yeah, he's just showing him love. Like, damn, boy, you all right? Good sportsmanship. You'd like to see it, but hey. He ends up getting hurt this play right here. Another one just like Michael Thomas, man. Like, what's new? Clowney hurt. Here he goes again. But it is good to see him, last on his 5th, 6th team, whatnot. His high school highlights are still one of the best, right up there with Dez Bryant. Yeah, he's just out there and goes to show you, man. Good guys, they don't pay to be a good guy right there. He was helping Deshaun the last play, and ain't nobody helping his ass this one. He rolling around. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had, man. If you want to get over what we got next.
We had the weekly deep sleep waiver targets, and we're just kind of consolidating a lot of the sell buys because it's getting so dry out there.
Yeah, trade should no longer be happening. And of course, we ain't trying to regurgitate everything people saying, but I'll tell you with here, before we get into the deep, sleepers or the waivers to pick up this week, there's some guys we can rank for you, not necessarily start or sit, but more of if you got these type of guys. I wanted to put 3 names out there. What you think? You got Tyler Boyd, Okay, he's playing against Baltimore, so that's the inner division right there. Thielen going against Dallas, so Carolina against the Cowboys. And you got our boy Noah Brown, right, against the Cardinals. How do you kind of rank these cats? Let's start with the former or the first right there. Tyler Boyd in there, stepping in. T. Higgins still out, or you got Adam Thielen, old man trying to reconnect with the rookie. While other pass catchers, I believe Hayden Hurst out with the concussion. Well, you got our boy Noah Brown, had the hottest last 2 games back to back. What is it? Over 150 yards, couple touchdowns since Andre Johnson, D Hop, the only 2 other guys in franchise history to put a stat line back to back like that. How you rank those 3, bro?
So sorry, remind me of my options. I have Tyler Boyd.
Boyd, Adam Thielen, Noah Brown.
It probably depends on like how bad I need or like what kind of play I need. Meaning like Tyler Boyd right now is attractive. I mean, I have actually am on my roster, but because he's
a good floor right there, huh? He's a safe bet or what? What you saying?
He's a safe bet. He's stepping up, and the Bengals are doing well, even though they just lost to the Texans on a great game. Joe Burrow is playing better. So and Boyd just had his best week of the season, 24 points, which is pretty solid. Noah Brown, I think he's gotten 2 hot games, and now it's like, okay, is it consistency, right? That's the big thing. Yeah. And then
I'll tell you, Noah Brown is he's on a crazy stat. I grabbed a screen grab of it. What is it? It's a weird stat. It's called yards earned per route run, and apparently Noah Brown's kind of out there. It's a graph that plots receivers yards earned per route run, and the X is them out when the receiver is lined up out wide, and then the Y is when the receivers line up in the slot. Anyways, Noah Brown's kind of out there in the what is it? I guess that's quadrant 1. Man, I don't even know which quadrant that is, but he's up there. Like, what is that top right quadrant? Would that be quadrant 1 or yeah, that's 1, I think. Anyways, so I guess
So here's like
so the consistency answer is what I'm getting at. Long story short, I think your boy is gonna be is balling consistently. He just seems to always be open, bro. It's those scramble drills that's what's impressive, and we got that film if we want to break it down, at least CJ's scramble.
So what is that all of a sudden that has made him not a focal point of the offense, but an involved point of the offense, right? Like the whole. Yeah. You look at this first start of the season; it's dead the whole time. I mean, I don't even know if he.
And I believe that was them conservative also. That was probably more. Yeah, the offense wasn't running through 3 receiver sets probably. You know what I'm saying? Or to where the opportunity he wouldn't even probably on the field that much. The snap count was probably low. And then as you can see, the offense opened up. Slowick now, like I said. Oh, by the way, he's the OC I was talking about in the beginning of the show. He's the one that's getting boys fired. That we'll talk about later when we spill some shit, but Slowick being more comfortable calling the plays, as CJ says, putting trust in the players. Bro, it's one of these offenses that are molding to the player skill set, right? Something you and we didn't see in the Sam Bradford days, right? Before Cam Newton, I think, was the first guy where like finally you see an offense tailored to what the kid did in college to bring him along, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, we'll get down to that later. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. As far as rank here, I'd go with that. I like to see Tyler Boyd and then Thielen sandwich between. I don't like Noah Brown out of the 3, and not because of consistency, because we kind of just tried to argue that there's evidence he is. I think Tank will come back, right? Or is it Nico? I'm sorry, Nico will come back. Nico was out, so the opportunities have been there for Noah Brown this week. I don't want to say gadget, but I think defenses will catch up. You know what I'm saying? So, and anyway, the offensive coordinator is creative enough to where there are other playmakers out there. It doesn't have to funnel through Noah. You feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like one of the bad parts about Houston. Like, it's exciting for a fan if you're watching all the different players get some action on the field, but for fantasy, it makes it hard, right? Kind of like the Patriots problem. Yeah. Not saying they're the elite Patriots, but in the sense of like if they're distributing the ball well, then it's kind of hard to actually. Is it better or is it actually worse, right? Does it make it easier? Like it's kind of like free money and cash grab. You can get any receiver on the Texans and you'll scoop up some points, or is it more like, well, now all this spreading out of the touches are taken away from a Nico Collins who I traded away for, and I'm expecting big things. Like, how do you see that?
Yeah, I think from what you're saying, is it safe to play any of these Texans receivers going through the end of the season? I believe so, regardless of schedule, right? I'm not real concerned on who they got to play, but it is I think an offense that's going to give them the production, or at least they know now that CJ can throw for 300 yards a game. 300 yards a game consistently. So if that's the case, and we know the running game's not there, we talked about it last week, them finding the identity. So I would agree with you. I think I wouldn't be scared to get any of these receivers and
I'd say
play
if
them
you're in a deep league, it's worth on a flyer if you happen to there's nothing out there, grab.
And Noah Brown should already be scooped up. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully we're seeing some Mechie. You know what I'm saying?
You had made that similar point, I think, earlier in the season with Washington, because you're like, hey, it's Washington, and there's just a bunch of group of guys, and it's not like one big superstar over there. So use that to your advantage. You can actually lean into the fact that they have to kind of use a variety of different players to get the job done. So
hey, I'll shout out
makes it nicer.
Shit, another set of receivers will rank real quick. I know we only got a little time.
Sorry, I got all the time here.
Michael Wilson, what you think? You got Michael Wilson. Is it Rashid Shaheed, and then Quentin Johnson? I'd rank him just like that. You got Michael Wilson, who almost scored last week. Big body, 6'3". He's just got to get in sync with Kyler's touch on the deep ball. If that can get back sooner than later, I think he's scary. Like I said, just big body out there, Mike Evans type, target for Kyler. Mike Thomas, we talked about him getting hurt. This guy's getting 9 targets last week. Jameis Winston's an upgrade over Derek Carr as far as the deep ball, as far as playing to Rashid Shaheed's ability. That's why I got him there. And I take them both over any of the LA Chargers receiver. But if you're desperate, we got to go Quentin Johnson over Guyton. I mean, the QB for the Chargers, Herbert, he's throwing 50 times a game, or at least, he's capable of it. So that alone should keep these guys on the radar, And then running back, real quick, we had the Keaton Mitchell, Devin Singletary, Ty Chandler. Those kind of names should be out there. I like it like that. Keaton Mitchell's only going to get maybe 9 to 10 touches a game, but obviously we've seen he's hot with it. He did have 7 yards per carry in college, so it's translating, dog. Singletary, D sent me this in a private DM.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I sneezed.
Oh, no, sorry. God bless you, brother. But yeah. And God bless Dameon Pierce for giving this hint to many fantasy players if they had their ears on the ground like D. Pierce said it himself, this is pretty much another rookie year for me in the new system. We got a running back by committee coming up. Yeah.
I saw that because I sometimes I lose focus that we have a whole new system, coaching staff, and everything. And because I made a comment about hey, why is Dameon Pierce doing what he did last year? And it's
yeah.
It's it kind of sucks, right? You have to pick it's an obvious which one you'd pick, the success of CJ Stroud and the new coaching staff, or have the season Dameon Pierce had. If you could have Dameon Pierce's last season coupled with the passing game of this season, it'd be really exciting. And that's
Hey. For sure. Hey,
we've seen it happen.
It is. It still is.
What it is. Yeah.
And hey, it might help him out now that Devil Singletary's taking off the heat. Although Singletary's ran away with it last week, he might not give it back. So, hey, and Ty Chandler, that's kind of the not hot take, but I disagree with him being the number 1 waiver right now. Per everybody else, the guy's got elite speed and characteristics like that, but he's never topped more than 6 carries in a game. I know he's only been in the league 2 years. He does have the potential to see about 15 plus carries. So that alone, you got to ride with that opportunity. But I'd rather take him over Latavius Murray right on the Bills right now. I ain't that desperate yet. So maybe Chandler's not a bad name to take a flyer on, throw some fab at. But yeah, that's all I got, man, for the preferred waiver targets and some stashes.
I feel like they're almost I feel like we should just combine it all into one segment now. But on that point,
this is more. What's up?
I was gonna say it's kind of a retrospective stash, but Singletary is a great stash example because he was passing around a lot of teams earlier in the season. I had him on my team for a brief season when I was in a pinch for a running back, and he wasn't really doing anything. And it's not like the Texans are still struggling in their running game, but he is kind of showing out to be more of having more success in the offense. Again, I think D's comment that he's more familiar with the scheme and having more success in there. It's he's now becoming maybe a bit more viable option. So it's just how about that's a great option for a stash, just and be willing to hold on to it. And this is where teams find the rhythm. I think to your point, we were just talking about the Texans, what's going on here? Teams get a little bit more comfortable about the playbook they're doing, especially with a new coaching staff. And so maybe that's something you could use to your advantage in the future. Okay, new coaching staff.
Opening it up. Yes, sir.
You just be patient with some of these players. And that's why, we always talk about our trading kind of.
That's why you sit tight.
I sit tight for a long time until like about a little bit before. So there's like a small window where I'm like, all right, I feel comfortable. I know who you are. I know who I got. I know what I'm trading with. But the excitement of like injuries usually will force me to trade early. But stash.
Hey, I say stash on. I like this part. And I keep it separate because I like to first talk about how we're doing, grading our previous one. So I got trading up right now. Trey McBride, tight end, the Cardinals. Told y'all to get him last week. I sent away Laporta in a trade. That's the rookie out of Detroit Lions who should be a keeper for anyone trying to get him. Traded him away because I was confident in this pickup. So Trey McBride, 131 yards off 8 catches, in sync with Kyler Murray on his first game back. I don't know if you don't mind or if you'd like to pull it up. It's cool just to see a couple plays of him. The fact that they're targeting him on first down.
Who's this?
The fact that people are not respecting him and putting a linebacker on this guy still, that will change soon. Trey McBride, the Week 10 Trey McBride first down clips. I'll tell you who's trending down, though. Let me know when you got it. But, hey, who's trending down? Douglas. I thought about it, and he's on New England. There is no alpha male there at receiver. He's still getting 7 targets, 7 looks in the last 3 games, and the team's always trailing. So here we go right here, though, back to Trey McBride. And look, this is just the athletic ability, man. See, like I said, Kyler's first game back, you couldn't even tell. Obviously, they're synced up. This right here is a play in Madden right here. You just got crossers, right? This guy's crossing over. They're just not respecting him and putting a linebacker on him. That's going to change soon. I love it from this angle here. There he is on the far left of your hash. Sneaks across there. Takes the inside leverage off the DN. Sneaks through. Goes across the linebacker's face. I'm telling you, man. We say safety valve, right? This guy's that and more. So Zach Ertz, it's a shame that Zach Ertz was kind of keeping this guy sheltered for the first 7-8 weeks. But this is a force to reckon with. Of course, we got rid of the buy-sell segment, but if you can still get him, go ahead and try and get him, especially if rule type capabilities in your redraft league next year. Keeper type, stipulations in. And there he is again. Like I said, I just wanted to point that play out. It's on a first down. This is what I like to see. This is what a young Houston Texans is doing as well. Being unorthodox, especially on that first down, not going with the traditional run, opening them up. Look at him. That's a shimmy shake right there. I know that ain't the slot corner, but the fact that they got the linebacker in space out there, like I said, that's once enough defenses put film on that, eyes on that film, they're going to respect this name. They can't no longer hide McBride, you feel? So, hey, that's what we at on the clock, man. Oh, we got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, got a couple minutes. We can go into spilling the beans.
Hey, yeah, real quick. I'll end on the stash. Jarrett McKinnon, I think, is a cat that he had one, I think, RB10 finish game so far this year. So you're wondering why, but that's your stash right there. This guy, for some reason, Andy Reid lets him play in November or December. It's like he's just letting him in the, hibernate for a little bit. It's like no nut November. He's just waiting there for a couple months. You get nothing, and then all of a sudden just throw him out there, and he just left and right, bro, just going at it. And last year, 2022, weeks 13 to 17. That's your prime weeks, right? Fantasy. If you in the race, if you in the dance, finish running back 19 or better. You know what I'm saying? And that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's the last 5 weeks of the season. I think 3 of those were top 10 finishes. 2 out of those top 10 finishes were RB1 finishes. You feel me? So, 7 TDs in that 5-game span. And you look back to 2021, kind of similar pathways at the end of the season. So, we'll see. Pick them up, and we'll see if that usage in week 9, 10, is going to translate and roll over. Pay dividends, man. If you got a bench roster spot, why not pick that over a fucking second defense? You know what I mean? A second QB. You know what I mean? Roll with who you got now.
That's true. Like the odds of that, the times I actually use my second QB or a second defense is like only for the bye week.
Especially this time of year, right, bro?
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
Use those roster spots for actual players that you can actually, might want to swap around.
Yeah, that's all I got, bro. What we got? We about to spill some shit?
I know you got. What are you spilling? I feel like I've.
Ain't got nothing too hot yet or too wild. We're trying to figure out how to fit this one in, right? Or the right attitude for it.
Sure. The obvious one that everyone's going to is some kind of like the Bills are frauds because they're struggling with. Are they now 5-4 or 5-5? What are they? They fell.
Yeah.
They fell to the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson on a field goal that they should have actually won, but then there was 12 people on the field, 12 men on the field. They get called a penalty. They kick again. They win by just a hair of points there.
So one of 6 or 7 games, right, decided by the field goal or less in Week 10. Hell of a game last night. I didn't watch much, but catching the highlights, you could see, yeah, exactly, emotional roller coaster there. I would tell you though, who's more of a fraud there, the Buffalo Bills or the Denver Broncos? Broncos are winning. That was their 3rd win right there. You know what I mean? This is a team coming off another win against KC. You know, so in Denver. So I mean, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, they riding. But I would say Josh Allen, bro. What is that word? The polarizing or enigmatic or something, where he's good, bad, hot, and cold. Like leads the NFL. I saw that in like rushing combined touchdowns, rushing and passing touchdowns. Last however many years, 4 years, whatever his prime's been. Lead number 1 NFL in those type of combined TDs, man. That's nice, bro. But then on the flip side, he's also number 1 in turnovers that same time period, 4 or 5 years. So. Who is it really? You know what I mean? They fired their OC, Ken Dorsey, right? Who was Andre Johnson's quarterback at University of Miami. Anyways, this cat, they fired him. So I don't know, man. Bills, they still the fraud. We talked about them last week, and they're about to get exposed, especially in this AFC East. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Miami look like they're gonna win. You know. Anyways, I got something else. What's up?
No, I think I saw like a infographic floating the internet. I think it had both Miami and the Bills labeled as frauds, and some of it's like a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, but it's just so funny how quickly people, the media, but the internet in general pounces on like, oh, they've lost a few games. Oh, you
always want to rip people down, never want to build them up.
It was just a few weeks ago, or like last season, where it's like Josh Allen was like the best quarterback in the league since Tom Brady, and oh my God, and now they're like, oh, he's not what they, you know, he's the problem in the Bills.
What's wild with the Bills and how they lost? This wasn't one of those typical losses where it's Josh Allen forcing it. You know, we're just gonna have to ride out the bad with the good. This was like a operational type failure, right? Within like not the organization, but yeah, with the execution out on defense. In this case, having 12 men on the field on that field goal attempt. Right, and then giving the kicker another chance because they had 12 men on the field.
Which honestly is crazy that happens in the NFL. 12 men on the field, like there's so many.
Oh, just all that shit going on, right? All that shit going on. Yeah, so one motherfucker should have a job, right, to count. You know,
they have a coach that like his only job is to hold the get back coach, like to hold the head coach off the line. You know, to get back. So that's kind of crazy that you can have those penalties in the NFL. Like who thought?
Speaking of frauds.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, man, my bad. Miami is because they 6-3. That's why they in this little fraudulent talk type. You know, the narrative is they've only beaten bad teams, right?
Right. Yeah.
What about these other cats though? I got Cleveland Browns. We talked about earlier. Seattle Seahawks, Swiss cheese defense. You know, luckily the offense is running on all cylinders, right? From Kenneth Walker, who I traded away unfortunately, and he's still killing it. All the way to anyways, Pittsburgh is also 6-3, a team the Texans spanked a couple weeks ago, kind of not exposed because we knew who the Steelers were, but how are they 6-3? I guess that's how Mike Tomlin's been a coach for so long. You know what I mean? And them Steelers fans spoiled when they want Tomlin gone. This model of consistency. Anyways, out of those teams, you know what I mean? All those 4 6-3 teams, like who's the fraud out of those guys? Cleveland, Miami, Seattle, Pittsburgh. What you thinking? I mean, I think Cleveland's turned a corner. I think Miami,
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. Really,
it's something about. I mean, I know Geno Smith's done really well, and actually, I was just looking. Geno Smith had his best week last week against Washington for 33 points. I didn't play him. Joe Burrow had a really good game as well, but I just don't believe in Geno Smith in terms of like the actual team and like. Are they a playoff contender? When we say frauds, obviously we're not really talking we're talking this perspective of like Super Bowl contenders, real legit teams. I just don't fear the Seahawks for some reason. On paper, they're doing everything right. It's just a gut feeling. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't like there's something about it that says don't trust Geno Smith.
I agree, man. I agree.
I feel like they're
really
like a wild
defense,
card
really.
team. Yeah, wild card team or like first round playoff team. The Steelers, I can never count out the Steelers. I only I will because their offense, but their defense is like always carries them. It's kind of like that narrative. Dolphins, I don't think they're a fraud. That's the team.
6-3. They're gonna keep it going. They keep it, especially because they in the AFC East, right? If the Bills continue struggling, they got them. New England, we already know that story. The Jets,
because they've shown and proved that they can get hot and like light up the scoreboard, which is a kind of scary thing. Even if you
track team out there.
Yeah, you can't really, can't really pull away from that team because they'll close a gap really quickly on you. Whereas the other ones, I feel like if you pull away from them, they're not really going to catch you. Especially the Steelers. The Steelers like have to keep you within arm's reach because what are they doing? Probably trying to eat up the clock, running the ball most, take the ball away from their quarterback's hands, so they can't get into a shootout. So it's the teams that can get in a shootout. Yeah, those are the scary ones when you get in the playoffs. And then once you get in the playoffs, it doesn't really matter like how great you've been or again which teams you've beaten before. I think it's all about who plays good defense and who can put up a lot of points.
Got that hot hand, bro. Hot hand, yeah. I tell you, last thing I want to touch on. I mean, if we were doing the whiskey biz, I'd pour one out for our boy here, who just got fired. Ken Dorsey, the OC, right? On the Bills, I mentioned him earlier. Josh McDaniels, we didn't touch on, or did we last week? Anyway, he's gone. Yeah, we did touch on it a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm saying who's next, you know what I mean? Who's next to go? And the reason I say Bobby Slowick's the one out here, Grim Reaper and boys, what he's doing with the rookie QB, 7-8 different combination of the offensive line through week 10. You know what I'm saying? No run game. Bobby Slowick's doing it with lesser talent. You know what I mean? So that's why these guys like Josh McDaniels are fired, or the Bills OC gets fired. You know, they got Stephon Diggs, right? You got a decent O-line that should be helping the run game. You know what I'm saying? Slowick's doing all these things, showing the creativity, like we said earlier in the show, modeling his shit to the abilities of his players, incorporating some of the stuff that made CJ successful in college, bringing it along that way. I'm glad Houston's one of these teams now, you know?
Yeah, I think with all that stuff, like coaches definitely get more praise and blame on both sides. It's like when a player and team does well, I think a lot. How much of this is like the coach and how much of it is CJ Stroud? You know?
Yeah. Well, they're both, I would say 1A and 1B as far as contributors to the success going on right now. Obviously, CJ's more because he's on the field, right? But I do, it is one of those, right? They need each other type shit to get.
No, for sure. I mean, especially as a rookie, it's probably when you're leading on your coaching the most.
Yeah, that's all I had, man. I mean,
yeah, we can just go into our local news at the Balls Deep League. I
ain't had much on here. I ain't even had anything scripted out. We still got Steve out there. I think got a firm place at the bye week. I think he solidies it if I'm not mistaken.
Steve's gonna be hard, but Kyle did pull a win away from Steve, so he kind of pulled out the juggernaut. And I was telling him, you know what? I feel like that should count for 2 wins. If you take out the number 1 team, you get 2 wins. You get something. You should get something out of that. Or maybe it's that could be a side pot in itself or a side game. Largest differential or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have And then I'm actually surprising myself a little bit because I do think a lot of this is a lot of luck. So when I start to hit, what am I saying right now?
You're 7-3. I mean, it's between you and Steve. You can catch them for the bye week, brother, and especially who your guys are all looks like finishing healthy, finishing the season going too strong at least. And Burrow, Eckler, who we mentioned a few weeks ago, Jahmyr Gibbs, finally he's doing what people wanted Bijan Robinson to do. You know what I'm saying? So. Beautiful, bro. Michael Pittman's reliable as fuck. I mean, your squad has got it. Schultz. Schultz is now becoming what we were preaching in the offseason 4 months ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my investments are paying off now. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I held tight on a lot of it because some of these, I kind of started the season saying, Burrow, when I looked at it, like, the past few seasons, he was also up in that, as fantasy-wise points, hitting very similar. Not the same, but like Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. So I kind of went on my data analysis there, and it didn't work out first. And a lot of people were like, that's not a good pick. But he's starting to do what I picked him to do. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of looking at with some players
Returning your investment. Yes, sir. No, straight up, man. I mean, those are players you just read off your roster. I mean, go to the polar end. Go to my roster. We'll see who I got compared to your guy. You got guys that were coming into the league wide receiver 3, 4, and they're putting up fucking wide receiver 1 numbers, bro. In Tank Dell, in Tyler Boyd. You know what I'm saying? You got fucking Geno Smith, who we knew he was gonna be outside top 12 quarterback, but he just got you another 30-point burger right there. Yeah, and as far as my guys, it's totally new identity. I started the season Saquon, T. Higgins, Laporta, Christian Watson. I'm now on, it's definitely different players now. My back now, instead of K. Walker and Saquon, it's now Joe Mixon. My receivers are now upgrade, but still you got a DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? This team's absolute trash, but for the most part, I'm 3-7. We still got a pulse.
So you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but how do you how did that happen, man? You're an experienced guy, you're a knowledgeable guy. How do you end up with a team a less favorable team than what you wanted?
It's like when artists get too good and their fourth or fifth album is something they want to do, like when Lil Wayne did rock music and
I remember that album.
Motherfucking Kevin Hart goes into acting, or shit like that. It's like, I'm just starting to do shit just to do it now. You know what I mean? Like, I want to draft this high, or I want to draft away without a 3rd round pick, see if I can do it. Like,
you're trying to paint outside the lines because you just want to make something new. Try a little bit new. Yeah, I've done that too. I feel like that was me last season, trying to get a little cute about what I was thinking,
just roll the die and go with your gut. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because really it's like, find the formula that works and just get to the playoffs, and then it's complete crapshoot a little bit. I mean, I can't say crapshoot because Steve has just performed so well week in and week out, and there are teams that perform week in and week out. But it's a crapshoot in terms of like your draft and when you pick those guys.
Bro, Bob, like his waivers, I see him pick up every week, and he actually he's the guy that plays his waivers, whoever he's scooping up, and they always fucking click. Like, I'm just like, fuck, dude. Some people, we pick up waivers and we still don't play him. It's like, oh yeah, cool, our guy scored this much on the bench, all right, and then we finally play him the following week, probably doesn't score, But it amazes me every time. It's like, Bob get a guy, I'm like, damn, I would have got that motherfucker, but I won't go play him anyway. Then he plays him, it's like he scores. I'm like, fuck. Got that Midas touch, man.
Yeah. So other than that, the playoffs. How many more weeks do we have left? We're going into week 11. So when
playoffs are week 14, right? Or I'm sorry, 15. They start 15, 16, and 17. So we got 3 more weeks: 11, 12, 13, 14. 4 more weeks. Yeah, you got 4 more weeks right here. We got another week, and then 3 division games at the end. $25 a game for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, so it'll be good, man. Got to give a survivor update. Somebody wins $100 at the end of the season. Whoever's left standing, so shit.
I'm trying to see, how does it I feel like Mobile Sleeper does better about showing you the
no website sucks balls, dude.
Yeah,
sorry to say it like that, man.
So let me pull this up. I can edit it out and post.
Yeah.
I want to see what the projections are right now.
No, go ahead, man. I'll tell you what, let me know when you get to it. I was gonna talk about touch back on them Week 10 games, 7 games decided by a field goal or less. NFL's tight. That's how your fantasy league's probably looking too. We got a lot of 6-4, 5-5 type teams.
Okay, let's talk about playoff picture right now. Obviously, it has Steve getting the first round bye, so he only needs to win 1 to get in the dance, and he'd be playing the winner of Will and Bob, and then me and Kyle would be facing off, and then you got Tank and D squeaking into the playoffs. So the people on the outside right now are Vu, you, Bernal, and Randy. Randy, I feel like would get the short end of the stick because I think him and D have the same record right now. So they're probably on a difference of 0.4 of points. Yeah. I would say, how's the league doing in general? Let's talk about that.
Man.
League. All right. So yeah, you got D at 5-5. You're 3-7. Kyle's 5-5. Bernal's 3-7. Randy's 4-6. So Randy's like the next one. If he could just keep up, maybe squeak in. So yeah, it's really weird. It's like, there's a handful of teams 3-7, 4-6, but like because there's 3 or 4 weeks left.
4 weeks left, man. You got a chance. I can sneak in 7 and 7.
I mean, and like we've seen this happen plenty of times in terms of like people's luck can really crank out like 4 games, or you can like nosedive 4 games. So I think even if I lost all 4 games, I don't think I'm like a lock in for the playoffs just quite yet, even though I'm pushing. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
I got a gauntlet though. My last 3, man. I got D, Steve,
if
and
you
then
pull
Bob,
this off, like we're gonna have to put like a special. If you pull it off and somehow get to the final game and win, we're gonna have to put like a special plaque around this year.
Oh man, I know.
Like life support.
I won't though, because I traded some assets. In some people's eyes, I tanked. I mortgaged.
Now and then you have a Steve over here like the what year was that? The 07, 08 Patriots, who like went 18-1, lost Super Bowl. So,
We'll see how I do. You're right. We'll see how I do come go time.
Yeah, that'd be a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't have anything else we can
jump
into what's happening. And what is happening?
Solar panels, bro. Are solar panels, are they a scam or not? Because in my next door neighbor app, people are talking about door-to-door people hitting them up, and they're like, they're posting.
I've got solar panels on my house, and I didn't have a choice because it's the neighborhood I live in. It's like you either have to rent them or buy them. I chose to rent them.
Sick. Damn. All right.
It basically, I think it's more of an invest. It's you break even on them. Especially when you rent them, because you're never gonna own them, so it's kind of like a wash. But if you choose to buy them, long term, it is a better deal. But it's more like you're not gonna get that immediate benefit of like save your electric cost is basically going towards probably a loan payment on the equipment over like 10, 15, 20 years, however long you get that note
before you
for.
can reap the benefits. God, dog. Yeah.
So so what you're getting though, I would say like the cost is probably similar until you pay it off, and then but what you're getting is like if you especially have battery backups, especially in places like Houston, hell even Austin, anywhere on the Texas these days, you have battery backup, so where the power goes out, you have the flexibility to kind of power all your shit. So I think that's the beauty. It's kind of like
I like it, bro.
I would equate it to like is people are like, is Hulu Live and YouTube Live cheaper than cable? Not anymore. It used to be, but these days it's like $70-$80 a month itself, like if you want the sports live package. But the benefit I get is I can like log into an internet-based TV and I don't have to run cable out through my house, right? Like you get more flexibility with it. So
maneuverability and ergonomic.
Yeah, like so it's not always like, that's how like a lot of even like with electric cars now, because electric cars are starting to kind of like some of them get the price fluctuates, but the price of the car and the price of like how much electricity you put into it, blah blah blah. So same thing, you're paying for like convenience more so than like a huge cost saving. Like you do save a little bit of money, but not like drastically. So.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you, man. See, this ball's deep right here. We learn this shit right here, man.
Yeah, this is a very informative show.
Hey, you ever have you and your girl pillow talk like on either running a business or what y'all want to do when y'all retire? Like, would you ever
buy land?
Trying to say, buy land. All right, be secluded a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm a computer.
Try and grow y'all shit, green thumb type shit, or what?
No, I just want to get away. Buy land, be in the mountains.
Oh
I don't know.
Man.
Go find mountains. We don't have mountains in Texas, so. But it's probably like every tech person has like a deep desire to kind of like just run to a cabin in the wilderness and like chop trees and shit because you're just with computers all the time. So it's part of that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Why do you ask?
Yeah. No, I was thinking same shit. Being able to be secluded, but mobility as well, but trying to live minimalistic. I was thinking like RV. I see these people buying RVs and trying to Airbnb their RVs 3 times a year to counter the costs. I don't know, man.
Airbnb
cool. There's a market out there. People rent out their RVs to people and let them drive cross country or whatever. It's kind of cool.
Oh, well, just like okay, right on.
Yeah, man. Anyways, I saw that. I was like, damn, that'd be wild. I was like, I never wanted to do that, but basically what I was saying, like, you've always had that thought though, or since you've been in your tech industry, you've modeled after that. Were you ever thinking about the countryside like that back in the day? Because I never thought like, I want to cross country in an RV, but I'm like,
a little bit. I like the outdoors and stuff. I've got, like the older I get, just being out and just getting good work done, you know.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Well, is that the show? I mean, I don't got any more. What's
Yeah, that's
happening?
it, brother.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that's good, man. Let's get some rest, man.
Alrighty, man. Well, I appreciate another episode here. Next episode, I really do. We'll have it a little bit more polished. I want to do a couple of new things, draw on the whiteboard, have a little mean tweet segment. You're out there poking the bear, and sometimes we get clapped back on, and boy, we got clapped back on hard. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. We'll respond on here, to where that way we know they'll never see it. We can say what we want to.
Well, just funny that again, like we said about the how people turn on the quarterback, how the internet is just geared to just shit all over you, you know. So if you stick your head out, you will get shit on, and sometimes it's pretty funny. So we can look back at that.
Hell yeah! All right, brother.
All right, man. Well, have a
Another
good
week down, man. Hell yeah.
I gotta find an outro song here. Hold on here.
Oh, well, why you do that shit? I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a good week. Go start. It's gonna be a good fucking week.
What do we have to look forward to? What big games are coming up this week?
Man, Texans uniforms. That's all I gotta say. Google what they wearing. It's gonna be sick.
I saw you share something.
Blue, blue on blue, but with the battle red helmet, the new helmet.
You think that's gonna look good? It looks kind of funky.
Yeah, it is funky, but funky's fresh.
All right, well, funky fresh, baby. I'll see you next week.
All right, boy. Love you, man.
Going token, going smoking, going play some duty next. No one on my hop on that squad, call my foe best. Rose out, gonna kick a dope down.